Hey everybody, we're resorting to desperate measures. I told you before that I had put a bunch of seed out in the deer field, but that it hadn't rained. Well, we've had a couple nights where we had a real thick fog in the morning, and we had one, I mean, like you'd almost just call it a fog for as much of a drizzle as it was. And we're still not expecting rain for another 4 days or so, and that's if it comes then. So I told you about that before, and I got a whole lot of suggestions on how we would get water back to the field. Well, the most practical one in terms of money is to just haul some water back there in some buckets. Well, it took a while. I got this trailer from my dad before he moved away from the area, and he used to just tow this behind a lawnmower. So we got it hooked up so we can tow it behind the tractor, and all we're going to do is fill up all these buckets with water, and we've got just one garden waterer that we'll have to refill with buckets to water and make sure that the seeds back in the deer plot actually grow. So let's get to work. All right, now everybody, look, we know this is just a lesson in using what you got. We don't expect most of this water to even make it back to the field. In fact, if half of it makes it, I'll be a pretty happy camper, which is why we're loading down so much as we can. I mean, we don't even have a proper pin to try to connect to our drawbar on our tractor. And let me tell you about that drawbar. Don't ever set it down where grass grows. I lost that thing the other day, and I called the tractor company to see how much it would cost to replace it. $140 they wanted for that piece of metal. Thankfully, I redoubled my efforts, and with some help from my wife, we found it. So this is what we got. This is how we're going to try to get water back to the deer field. I ain't telling you this is the right way to do it. I'm telling you it's how we are going to try to get it done. Is it heavy? Okay. Well, throughout all of the troubles today, I'm down to the littlest helper. Leah, who normally doesn't want to come out here in the heat, has decided that she wants to help keep water in these plants, and my cameraman is my oldest, Brandon. So that's an unusual split, but I'll take it. So we're at the same amount of water we had when everything broke down. You ready to go ahead and water the ground? Here, let me show you where we need to do it. All right, all the plants we want to water are past this tree. I'll get some of the water out and then you can do it, okay?
So it's not heavy?
Right. So we just want to do like this, okay? Not in one spot, but all over like this, okay? Daddy just wants to get some kind of water to these plants. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, just enough to keep them alive until it rains.
It's fine watering it.
All right. It feels pretty light now. You want to come give it a try?
Yes.
Water where Daddy hasn't watered yet. Oh, good walking around. Look at you. You're a professional. Are you a professional waterer? Leah.
It's like a rainbow, you call it.
Like a rainbow?
Yeah. It's all gone.
All right. Now that's why we brought all this other water. We're just going to keep filling up this can and water as much of the field as we can, okay?
Empty.
All right, Daddy's going to fill it up and Daddy's going to do the next one, okay?
Because that's a lot of water.
Yep.
And so
These are some of the seeds that have just started to come up. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure these little tiny seedlings don't dry up. That's our biggest concern. Not to try to get everything else to sprout, but for what has sprouted, to make sure it doesn't wilt off and die in the heat.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, baby. You watering them seeds?
Yep. I see seeds.
Make sure those deer have something to eat.
Hey, it's not heavy after all.
Good. Hey, look, I won't make any bones about it. I know this is kind of silly. I mean, it feels silly even doing it. Loading up a trailer that doesn't even attach properly to the tractor, with a bunch of buckets that only stayed half full to get back here so we can use a really shoddy watering can to try to get water onto the ground. Well, it feels silly, and I'm sure it looks silly too, but it's really important to me. Those seedlings were starting to come up, and I just know if we leave them alone, they're going to wither and die. And the 14 bucks I spent on that seed out there is going to be worthless. So better to go through the trouble and get some water on them, just enough to keep them alive, and hopefully it'll rain in a couple days. If not, we know we can at least do it and get the mission accomplished if we've got to. So hopefully it wasn't too silly and just a good example of getting things done. Thanks for your help, Leah.
Yeah.
Did you have fun watering the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah? Think the plants will grow for us? Me too. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. If it's your first time being here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button up there in the corner. It really helps out our little homestead here. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, I'd really like to know a good way to attach this tractor to that drawbar. I got to find a way to drop it down so that the trailer stays more at a level. It's sitting at like this, not just because of the weight of the water in it and how it was distributed, but because the drawbar in the tractor is so much higher. So if I could find a way to go below that drawbar, some kind of a stop gap there. It may just be something as simple as a 2x4 with a hole going through it and a really long pin. But if you've got another idea, let me know what you think. Maybe if we need to use this tractor later, we can do it with a bit more success. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Say bye.